Ryan, how would you sum up today? I mean, obviously, you take one play away from the first half, and it's about as dominant a performance as you could expect. I mean, what's your take?
Well, I think it's a great example for everybody that when you turn the ball over, especially down there, you put yourself at risk. I mean, all the work that gets put in, can be all for naught if we don't take care of the football. So it's a lesson learned. We came in at halftime. We were up by 3. You would have thought we were down by 21. But I thought we responded well, and that's the thing is when you come out in the second half, you have to learn from the first half, but you can't dwell on it. And so we knew how important that first drive was. We were aggressive. I thought some of Julian's deep balls were just excellent in this game, and saw how they were playing us in the first half. Felt like we had a chance to get behind them, and so we called those plays, and Julian and the receivers did a great job. Jeremiah, Carnell, and then it was good to see obviously us finish the game with some runs. Got physical, so that was good as well. But the defense was excellent, really stepped up. I know there was a couple third downs early on that were frustrating, but I thought Matt, changed it up a little bit, and then the guys played, really physical, got to the quarterback, changed up the looks in the back end. So very good team win.
Go over here to Steven and then to Austin.
Ryan, are you happy with what you got from your interior offensive line, both in the run game and pass protection today?
Man, I'll have to watch it all, but, that is the good thing. We get to watch the iPad. I thought there was some plays that, when you're playing against, a team like Penn State who has a lot of talent, you're going to have some plays that aren't perfect. But I thought the strain to protect when you're pushing the ball down the field like we are, the first big play to Carnell, the one to Jeremiah, the other one to Carnell. I mean, those are probably 3.5 second plus plays. There's a lot of strain on those plays. So I thought that was well done. It was good to see us finish late in the game. I thought we really fit some runs up late and we're physical late. That was good. Sometimes the run game takes a little time. So was it perfect? No, but I thought the guys played hard and there was a lot of good play in there.
Go to Austin. Then we're going to come over to the left to Rob Aller.
Ryan, I felt like there were a number of maybe some new wrinkles offensively. How much of that is now being 2 months into the season with that body of work, and is any part of it having some familiarity with the other coordinator?
Well, we wanted to change up the looks and the personnel groupings and just try not to be not predictable. I think that's probably something that for us we try not to be predictable, but that's not really the right word to use. We just wanted to change up the groupings and just make the defense a little bit uncomfortable and not being able to anticipate maybe what they were getting, if that's the best way to put it. But we certainly weren't going to re-engineer our offense based on the team that we were going against. So I felt like we did that. We found ourselves in some different formations, and then we shifted and moved it around so that they couldn't really nail us down. And then we identified what the game plan was, and I thought we really attacked them in the second half.
Go over to the left to Rob and then to Pat Forty.
Yeah, Ryan, you got Haskins, Stroud. Last year with Will, you've got Fields. You're just stacking talent at the quarterback position. How proud are you of the development of what's going on there? This was never QBU until you arrived, really.
Well, it comes down to everybody involved. I think it starts with Hart as the coordinator, then it goes down to Billy as the position coach, and everybody involved with it, and then it goes to Julian and the guys who play the position. And Julian's really getting more and more confidence every day. He works at it. I think the preparation that he puts in that quarterback room is starting to show. His mind works as quick as the ball comes out. He's obviously accurate. So I think one of the biggest plays of the game was the scramble he had. Would love to see him have two hands on the ball there, but that was a big scramble in that spot. You didn't know where the game was going, and that's what happens in those games. You fumble the ball in the first half, and it's a 3-point game at halftime. You don't get that first down. Who knows where the game goes? I mean, these are the turning points in the game that from following these games. And I know as years go on, you watch these games, you see those moments where the game could turn. And so I thought that was a big play. So he's growing in the run game as well, I think. But to answer your question, yeah, I believe that when you come as a position coach, it should be that position you. That's what I think. And I felt like that when I first got here. And it's great to see, the quarterbacks continue to believe in what we're doing. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't know what else is out there. I've watched them from afar. I think there's some really good quarterbacks across the country this year. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the conference. And so, it'll be told when the season's over. I think it's easy to be at whenever week 8, week 9, week 10, and try to make, proclamations on where guys are. I think we have to see, what the season, holds for us and the progress that's made, and then we go from there. And I think even when you look at, the Heisman Trophy, it's sort of after the season's over, and there's still a whole bunch of football to be played afterwards. So I think that's unique, but that's the tradition. But I do think that if Julian continues to play the way that he's playing, he deserves to be in the conversation at the very least.
Go to Pat and then to Doug Lamarice.
Robbie stole my question there. But, all right, I'll ask you just about Julian's unflappable demeanor. And even on that scramble, he looked like he was unhurried about, reading and reacting to that. Just how much that demeanor helps him be as good as he is.
Well, that's something that's very hard to teach. When you can feel the rush and not have your eyes on it, your eyes can be down the field. You can anticipate what's happening, and the ball comes out. Man, I'd like to tell you that we coach that, but we don't. He has that feel, and that's something that makes quarterback special. He has that trait.
Good. Pass that mic over to Doug. Thank you.
Ryan, you said it felt like you were down 21 at the half. Why did it feel that way? Did you want it to feel that way?
I just think that we felt like, we were playing well in certain areas, but it just, they got a couple first downs on us. We fumbled, they scored, and it was a little frustrating. And I think, we want to be in at halftime. In that moment, we wanted to be at least winning by 10, and then to turn around and only be up 3, it was like, you got to be kidding me. Because at that point, we felt like we were getting the ball to start the second half. We were going to be somewhat aggressive, but not reckless. We wanted to end with the ball or points, and for us to fumble in the first play, it was very frustrating. So that's really what led to that, probably.
Come over here to the right to Spencer.
Ryan, with what you were saying on Tuesday about this kind of being a little bit more like the NFL and coaching is a business anyway, but did you sense that your players had a little bit of extra motivation this week on the defensive side? And then can you kind of sense the way that they were feeling throughout this game about who's not calling defensive plays for you anymore?
Honestly, no. I didn't feel any of that. Maybe, I guess, when the season started and when I was looking ahead, I thought maybe that would come into play, but it just didn't. I don't think any of our coaches or players were distracted by that.
Go over here to Dylan and then over to the right to Bill.
Ryan, when you talk about stacking bricks in a season and building that foundation, to come through a bye week like this, have a team that maybe was down record-wise, but you talked about all week, but still plenty talented, for them to take this serious and to perform like this, where does that rank in terms of good signs for a team's culture building?
Well, we constantly talk about being consistent week in and week out. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. And I thought this was a good example of, really not testing the theory out, but seeing, where our team was in this area, because, if you have a young team where, you play to your opponent, you obviously put yourself at risk. And so how do you perceive a team that's, lost a few games in a row, and going through some difficult times? Well, these guys still have a lot of NFL players on the team, and we knew it was going to be a challenge. So again, it just went back to us and our preparation and how hard we play. And, for us, that was just the next team on the list that we have to execute against. And that's a tribute to the coaches and a tribute to the players for continuing to believe in that and keep pushing. And I still think we all know that we can get better in certain areas. We got to keep pushing. And so we have to master the routine, and that's getting rest tonight, come back tomorrow, address the issues, and then it's on to Purdue.
And last question to Bill in the front.
You said it felt like you were down 21 at halftime. What was your message to the team at that point?
Well, I said kind of what I tell you guys. You're either winning, losing, or you're tied at halftime. And we have to identify what went on in the first half and, say it all the time. All the work that gets put in, if we turn the ball over, your whole season can be ruined. So I don't want to just dwell on that one turnover. I feel like I'm talking about it a lot. But we just won 38-14 against Penn State. So if you said that to me about 2 months ago, I don't think I'd be talking about one fumble that we had. But I'd rather be talking about. And by the way, when I said that about Julian Sayin, I also feel like Carnell and Jeremiah. Again, if there's two better wide receivers in the country, I'd like to see them. And they deserve to be up for a lot of awards too as we're getting towards the end of the season, because it's not about individual recognition around here, but I know a lot of people, support their players. I want to make sure that I'm supporting my guys because, they're great players. And then we also have a bunch of guys on defense doing the same thing. So, but this is not about individuals, it's about the team. And that's something that's been a mantra to our team all season long. And so the message at halftime, was that, if we take care of the football, we're going to win the game. If we turn the ball over some more, we're going to be in this game in the fourth quarter. So that was the first thing. The second thing was that, we needed to have a great drive to come out in the third quarter, and that great teams win in the second half. And that was really it. And I do want to say before we're done, again, how great the crowd was. I thought the crowd was in the stadium early. They were rocking early. They just, this season, I think Ross has done a great job with the game day atmosphere, and I feel like everybody understands when they have the ball how to be loud, and just they're playing off the players, and when the players need the crowd's there. It gives our guys energy, and I could feel it in the second half. And so I just want to thank the crowd, because at the Skull Session we say, the band's got to do their job, the fans got to do their job, and we got to do our job. And I thought, and everybody did today for a great win. So thank you. Yep.
Coach, thank you very much.